everyone, and welcome to 2-Player Quest, where I help you on your quest to find the best 2-player board games for you. In today's video, we have Too Many Bones by Chip Theory Games. In Too Many Bones, you play as a Gearloc that has been sent on a quest on one of the many missions to help your kind. You do this by battling your foes, by rolling dice to gain defenses, doing attacks, and using your Gearloc-specific dice skills. But how many Gearlocs is this game good for? Let's find out! Too Many Bones is a game for 1 to 4 players that plays in 60 to 90 minutes according to the box, but I would make that 60 to 90 minutes per player. Because we have played this many a times, it's usually about 4 hours, maybe 5 depending on the amount of players are playing. So, certainly takes longer than the 60 to 90 minutes it says on the box. I would go with 60 to 90 minutes per player. On Board Game Geek is at a 3.86 for complexity, so it's definitely a medium to maybe slightly heavy game. And it is a reasonably high luck game. A lot of it depends on dice rolls, as it is a sort of dice building game. So if you roll well, that will help you. If you don't roll very well, it might just kill you. So quite high luck. And the monsters can be quite annoying as well. So depending on what monsters you draw can make the game a lot easier or a lot harder. So, high luck. This is what the setup might look like at the start of a game. Well, it's not the start, we have already played this game a bit. We are in round 4. We have other characters, we have the battle mats, and we have my character, the current character. Which, in this case, this is what pretty much all character sheets look like when it comes to stats, at least. You have your specific stats, and you have pluses, so 2 plus 2 equals 4, makes sense. This is the loot that this character has. These are the dice that the characters have. Now, the characters are all very different when it comes to their options, so every character has this massive sheet, front and back, full of information for their characters. Every mission has a specific boss. You can see here, in this case, we have Marrow, who has all these different types of monsters in their baddie point deck that you have there. So you have 1 baddie point, 2 baddie points, and 20 baddie points. Now, you have every day starts with a certain event. So in this case, we move the day tracker to number 4, and we draw the event. You read the flavor text. And then you read the options. You choose one of the options. In this case, we'll choose option number 2, fight 2 5-point melee baddies. So you go to your 5 points, you grab the top 2, and you go to the battle mat. The first one spawns at spot number 1. It has 6 HP and 6 initiative, as you can see here. And the second one has 5 HP and 4 initiative. 5 HP and 4 initiative. Then the players roll their initiatives and place them in initiative meter in whatever order they see fit when it comes to things that are of the same initiative. And then we can place the Gearloc. And then the combat begins. Starting from the top of the initiative, you do what needs to be done. So this one rolls an attack, 1 and 2 defenses, and they all have special keywords. Now, these special keywords, in this case signal, you do what it says on the keyword reference for that specific keyword. Now, the essence of the game is you attack them with the dice. You roll the dice. In this case, I roll 3 attacks, so I would do 3 damage. And you take the 3 damage away. And it is basically that simple. You can also roll defenses to gain defenses for yourself. But on all of the dice are also bones. Now, these bones can give you special things. On your player mats, you have this backup plan. You use bones to do this. On the back of your player sheet, it tells you what every backup plan does. You can only play 1 backup plan per round. Every character also has special dice that do special things. It will tell you what these special things are on your character sheet. You keep going in initiative order until either team has won. So either you've taken out all of the monsters or all of the characters are dead. Once you've taken out all the monsters, which is what usually happens, you gain the rewards shown on the event card. In this case, that would be 2 training points and a normal loot, in which case you can give everyone a loot card and 2 training points, which means you can upgrade. In my case, for example, I would be able to grab 1 extra dice if I wanted to, so I could grab brush and riposte for 2 points, because they're 1 point per dice. Then, after a certain number of events, we can choose to fight the boss. Now, fighting the boss is the same as fighting any enemy. You have another combat mat. It tells you on the back of the boss card how the combat's going to look. So that is the essence of the game. You either win or you lose as a team. There's a lot of extra information to be found on the reference sheets, the many reference sheets. For example, you have trove loot that you have to unlock. You can scout what monsters are coming. And of course, you can heal. Learning how to play Too Many Bones is not the easiest. You could probably learn the basic concepts in about 10 minutes, and then you'd have to take about another 15 minutes to learn to understand your character, because every character comes with this wonderful reference sheet, 2-sided. It is, I think it's basically A4 paper, so it is quite a bit of information for your character to understand how to play your specific character. Now, along with that, throughout the game, even throughout the many games you've played, you will be referencing several pieces of paper. This is the baddie reference sheet with all the keywords that the enemies can have, and you will continue referencing this sheet throughout the many games that you might be playing. And this one is a bit less often referenced once you get the hang of the game. This is the general reference sheet on how turns work, how looting works, stuff like that. So in general, give it about half an hour and you can probably get started on your first game. But even after that, you will be continuing to reference the many sheets very often. If you're looking for a dice rolling game with dice specific skills, then this could be an excellent fit. It has very interesting mechanics with these dice skills. The characters are all very different, so it really is quite fresh and new. It is a lot of maths and a lot of strategy talk. Who could best attack what? How are we going to do this? So that is something you have to enjoy when looking into this game. Now, the quality of this game is absolutely fantastic. It is really good. Everything's very sturdy, very well made. This does come at a premium. The game is relatively expensive, so that is something to think about. And something else to think about is that the base game only has 4 characters. Now, yes, they are 4 very distinct characters, but after a while, playing those 4 characters can feel very limited. So that is something that you might want to take into consideration when considering this game. This copy before me on our table is a copy that a friend of ours had. We have had this game before a couple of years ago and we sold it because we didn't really like it as much as we'd hoped. One of the main things is that we frankly forgot why exactly we sold it, and that's why when our friend said he bought it, we said, sure, let's play. And after playing now, some things are coming back about why we didn't like the game, but some things are coming back about why didn't we like it? Because there's a lot of fun things about this game. Now, one of the positive things about this game is the different characters. You have 4 vastly different characters in the base game that basically play extremely differently. So every time you play a new character, it's basically playing the game a whole new way. So this is something that is very fun, but as I said before, it is limited to those 4 characters. So after you've played the game sort of 4 times with every different character, it already becomes less interesting to redo it. You also have different monsters, but every monster has this keyword and all the monsters are annoying. There is no, just a simple, easy monster. Every monster has something special, which in one hand can be fun, and on the other hand is just extremely annoying. So you always have to look up what that certain monster does. So that also got boring after a while. So the repetitiveness of the characters and the repetitiveness of the monsters eventually became too boring for us, and it was all about maths and figuring out what strategy we could best use to survive that round. And that was just no longer fun to us. One of the good things about the game is the quality of the game. So the materials, the whole game, it's fantastic quality. But as I said before, that does come at a premium, and you only get 4 characters. You only get 4 run-throughs with a new character. You can buy extra characters, but that costs you probably about €50 a character, and that to us just seems expensive for an expansion that basically just gives you 1 character. So that is something that we found that it was nice to have the game originally, then we had had enough of it, we sold it, and now it's nice to come back to the game, but it's still not the kind of game that we are looking for. So we appreciate that we can now play it again, and then after that, it can go to our friend's cupboard. But for now, it's just not the game for us. That's not to say it's not a good game. We're enjoying ourselves playing it again. But it's just not the game that we need in our cupboard. As you may have noticed, I've changed the name of this segment. I've now called it How Does It Play with Different Player Counts? Because I never really specified exactly in what part I would discuss in what part I would discuss the 2-player part. So now I've just made it how well does it play with what player counts. In general, this game, however, plays very well with whatever player count you're playing with. It is scaled very well. In general, it is a bit easier with certain player counts than with others, but it's still very doable with all player counts. Now, I would personally say that it's a bit easier with 4 players rather than with 2 because of the amount of enemies you get. So you have more players, so you get more enemies, so you can specialize more. So in this game, you have somebody who is basically the barbarian, just hits really hard. You have somebody who has defenses, you have somebody who heals. So in general, you want to be able to use all of those specific talents rather than have the healer who also has to do a lot of attacking because you are missing the attack person. So I would say it is very good for 2 players, so it's definitely 2-player approved, but I would also say it's excellent for more. And that brings us to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching our review of Too Many Bones. If you want to see another one of my reviews, please click here. If you have any comments, feedback or suggestions, put them in the comments below, and I look forward to seeing you next time on 2-Player Quest.